Will you look back when you're old and gray and think those dumb kids had a lot to say when we were trying to make this night one you'd remember? I don't care if my wheels don't turn, I don't care if my pipe don't burn, as long as I am flowing through your veins after I'm gone away.
It's Thursday night, and you know what that means. I hope you've missed us because we missed you.
I'm looking forward to our guests. We've got 2 guests on tonight, but first it's start the show. So what does that mean?
Joke of the week.
Hey, did you hear that Mickey Mouse went on Space Mountain? He was looking for Pluto.
I get your approval this week.
It does. It does.
So without further ado, we have got the legend himself finally putting a, well, I put a face to the name, but a name to the name. His name's Graham. So we've got Graham and Jen from Sibby's Vlogs. How you doing?
How you doing? I love the intro.
Yeah, I was going to say, I loved it. I saw you dancing at the bottom. That's
You can see that.
A friend of mine has got a band and he let me use it. So
Oh,
Very lucky.
very lucky.
it's the Space Mountain Joe looking for Pluto. I was like, that's me done. I love a dad joke.
Have you got a joke of your own you want to tell everyone before we get started?
I know one, but I don't think it's clean.
It's fine because we've had some.
So yeah,
Okay,
apologies. Jen didn't know about the show till about 5 minutes ago, so I didn't have time to put her name on the.
Right. A showman told me this joke literally on Friday.
Is it clean?
No.
So if you've got little ones, just cover your ears just for like 2
Yeah, earmuffs. So, why do women stay quiet when they're in bed with the showman?
Why does the what stay quiet? The women.
Why do women stay quiet when they're in bed with when they're sleeping or in bed with the showman?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Why is that? Oh god.
Because if they scream, they think you're going to go faster.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, I get that. I get that one.
So,
I like that one.
before we get into the funfair stuff,
I think we should tell that to House of Holes from our previous.
I think House of Holes have heard much worse than that.
Probably. But...
Did you want to start telling us your earliest fairground memory? Probably as a kid, Graham.
Oh my god, it's literally. I remember going. It starts in Mablethorpe of all places, and being slightly taller, there was a Ferris wheel.
Yeah.
And I remember my dad taking me on it, and then for years afterwards, I plagued him, take me back on his Ferris wheel, and then I found my local fairs, and it started from 4 or 5 years old, like 1986.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm old.
No, it's just that I used to go with my parents to Mablethorpe when I was quite young as well. So, but we used to just walk and look at the lights.
So
during like nighttime and stuff.
I'll ask Jen the same thing. Was Jen as into Fairgrounds before she met you?
No, Jen's my sister. Bless.
Yeah, so I'm the youngest. Everyone says that. Everybody thinks we're a couple. Unless you can see, I mean, we are quite pretty similar. We just knock the chair over and everything. But yeah, so I've grown up following Big Brother.
Yeah.
And then there's a third that isn't here, and then there's me. So I've just followed lead, basically. So 86, when I was born, is when you was at Mablethorpe.
Yeah.
Have you got family connections within the fairground community prior to getting into the?
No, but that all started through lockdown. In all honesty, I had a friend called Charlton Derry, and we both worked at Co-op Warehouse. She was letting dog out. We both worked at Co-op Warehouse through lockdown. And I told him about the channel. I told him what my goal was. And we just had a really good banter for 18 months. And then on his last week, when he was about to leave, he turned around and told me who he was and what he was. And I was just like gobsmacked. And then this whole time, I had a friend in the showroom that I never knew. And then from him, I've met Ryan, Sai. Oh my God, I could list so many names, and it's all snowballed from that moment.
That's awesome.
Like Terence Reeves and Beth. Oh my God. It all started through COVID.
I'm gonna carry on this conversation, but I'll dip in and out the live chat. But Closer to Far says, if you could pick 4 permanent flat rides for towers to replace Retro Squad, what would they be? Let's say height restriction isn't a thing.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd put a top scan in Forbidden Valley. I know that Technical Park have plans for an oversized loop fighter. That would be good. We're on the old Enterprise site.
Yeah.
A decent gyro swing like Millstrom is begging for that.
Yeah.
Well, something like Atmosphere.
Yeah, well, Atmosphere is a Street Fighter. So Atmosphere would go down so well if they made. There is plans for an oversized version of it, but no one's ever invested in it. So yeah, and then probably because I love topspin so much, a flawless topspin and a Ranger.
Which is your? I think I already know this because I've seen vlogs and things. But for people at home, which is your favourite of the Retro Squad? If you had to pick one.
Spin Jam.
Spin Jam, yeah.
It's gotta be Spin Jam. Yeah, it's not for everyone, but that's a really, 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 really cracking machine. And I love an orbiter.
See, I've got a question about this because they do quite fast-paced music with Spin Jam, I think.
Yes.
If you put that music onto like Funk and Fly, would that change your mind? Because I've noticed like with some like Fairground rides, they do quite like fast-paced music, don't they? So
The only reason I've not said Funk and Fly is I've never actually ridden. No.
Oh, it's a lot of fun.
Ooh.
I haven't. I've done the original that it's based off. But I've never done the PWS machines, and that's where it comes from. And I haven't ridden one, so I don't know. It looks fun.
Yeah.
But then it's where Ripsaw was.
Yeah.
And I adored Ripsaw.
Yeah.
Well, it was a performance as well, wasn't it? It wasn't just
Yeah.
if you're off-road, you could enjoy it.
It was just everything about it. It's one of the few machines in a park that's come close to a funfair for intensity and thrill that it could have been better.
What's
yeah.
I've got a question that I think is going to lead down a big avenue of conversation. So before I do that,
here, so it's
I'll ask Jen the same question. Jen, what's your favourite of the Retro Squad?
The same.
Same, yeah.
Yeah, it would be the same. Yeah, I'm not into Funk and Fly. Which one?
It's a PWS.
I'm not into Super Troopers. So
no,
it's the motion. They make me feel a little bit sick. Yeah. Send me upside down, flip me around. I can deal with that.
It's like the slow.
Yeah, it's like you go on a boat and you just. I don't know what it really does. Just thinking about it makes me.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm going to try and keep on top of these questions in a minute, but I just wanted to ask.
No, we appreciate them all.
I'll ask you both. You can both jump in. But do you think, in a way, Retro Squad has tarnished what people who go to theme parks and don't go to fun fairs or fairgrounds? Do you think their opinion of fun fairs, when they've seen how the Retro Squad has been done, has got even lower, has given funfairs a bad name in a sense because they've seen it, and obviously it doesn't really fit in. Well, that's just my opinion. It fit with the theme park, so they've kind of looked at it in a bad way, and it's kind of tarnished their opinion of fairs.
No,
The bad name.
I don't think it does. I think if that's your train of thought, you should really look back to how Alton Towers became Alton Towers.
Yes.
Because it was a showman that introduced rides initially to Alton Towers way back in the 80s.
Yeah.
And Corkscrew was a travelling coaster in Germany. And it then got brought to England. It never had permanent foundations. So, in a way, the park's origins, as it is now, is with showman from the fair. So, it's just an extension, really.
Mm.
And I mean, they've gone. It's a different. They've gone a different way, and it's a completely different kettle of fish now. But if you go back to when it first started, it was literally the retro squad. So they've kind of gone back to where they started from. Ironically.
What's your favourite fair snack?
Burger.
Yeah, it has got to be a burger.
Do they do toffee apples and things?
Yeah, you can get like toffee apples, mushy peas with mint sauce, candy floss, fudge.
Them Smarties, walking sticks.
Brandy snaps.
Yeah. You can get like rock dummies,
Yeah.
and then you got sausages, and it's so diverse what you can get. I just tend to wait till I've done riding so I can enjoy the food and not bring it back, because I'm not immune.
I'm sorry, I'm just waving at everyone in the comments as well. It's so wonderful to see everyone. I'm so sorry that I'm just like
Can't see comments, but thank you for watching.
Exactly. Thank you for coming in and watching. There is loads more questions. Honestly, it's unbelievable at the minute. We've kind of lost track because there's.
I think what I will
people
do.
got in front,
I'll keep a track on the questions, but what I will do, I think I'll jump straight to. I've got some photos I took from your Instagram. I took kind of a selection of photos.
Oh.
So.
Energizer.
That's recent.
Yeah, that's when I learned to ride operate.
Did you do it for that that day or for a certain amount of time?
I literally started working on the gaff, which is what people that aren't showmen do. And Charlie said, I'm going to learn you how to operate. And then he literally gave me, it takes 15 minutes to show it you.
Yeah.
And he was there for a while watching. And then once I got the hang of it, he's like, yeah, that's it. And I'm like, really?
Wow.
The hardest part is, believe it or not, it's only 6 buttons.
Oh.
Yeah. And the hardest part is lining the cage up to the platforms before you open the door. Because you have to play with starting and stopping rotation and then brake on, brake off. So it's 4 of you, it's 4 of the 6.
Yeah.
But once you've got it and you lined it, you stop it, and then you can press the button and open the doors. So that's the hardest bit. But it's surprisingly quite easy. I find doing the money is the hardest. Yeah.
So that came about during, you were talking before about COVID, when you kind of got involved. Is that?
Yeah.
Is that when this kind of, or was it earlier than that?
No. We parted ways. Then I started the channel and started vlogging. And then his regular staff member, Craig, had to go for an operation last summer.
Yeah.
And he's like, do you want to do 6 weeks covering? And I said, yeah, which involves building up, pulling down, the whole kit and caboodle, balancing. And then I never really stopped.
So when you work on a fairground, like the bigger fairs, is it like they know people in the area that do this, and when they're in that area, they take them for a few weeks, or do people just stay with them all around the country?
It's a little bit of both.
Okay.
So some people from the area will come and work part-time. Some are long-term affiliates with showmen like myself. And it's weird because it's another day in your calendar.
Yeah.
It's very encapsulated as an entity when you travel with a machine. Because you go to a fair and there's loads and some showmen have multiple rides, but when you work on one, it's kind of the job and task in hand. So you focus on the one, but you meet people and everything on. It's a community within a community.
Yeah.
It's the only way I can describe it.
I think that's what I learned from watching your channel, and a brief name drop, I guess, for Breaking Trails. But you both opened my eyes to how much community was there.
There's a lot.
Because to someone who doesn't know, might think, oh, it's just the fair that's traveling. They're just doing their job. But then you see, like, some of the aspects of your content opens it up to someone who doesn't know about it. It's quite nice to see.
Oh, there's so much I can't film. Like bonfire weekends. So on the 1st of November, you arrive at your first place, you find your spot, and it's literally a spray paint on the floor.
Yeah.
You have to find your central line, level the machine out, then you build it up, open, close. So 9 o'clock you close, you finish pulling down at 11. You move onto your next ground and you pull on there, maybe depending how far away, it could be 1, 2 in the morning. You park it, you go home, you sleep, you're back the next day, and you do the whole thing for 7 days. Continue. That's the hardest part.
That's a lot of hours put in.
It's no rest.
Later on of him building them up as well.
Yeah, it's no rest. It's Hell Week is what I dub it. Because it's every day is like when you arrive at a fair, you have maybe 3 days. You might have a week. You could have 2 weeks, and then you close, pull down. But this is like, build, open, close, pull down, build, open, and by the 7th day, you'll have lost maybe 1.5 stones.
Yeah.
You will not know what day of the week is. You won't know the time. But by the end of it, it's a complete system crash.
We've got a really good question here from Dave's Adventures saying, Graham, will you go to European fun fairs?
Or have you already been?
Never done it. However,
Bye-bye.
watch this space. It's on the cards.
Ooh,
Have you been to Winter
how
Wonderland?
exciting.
Never. No. Ironically, though, I am quite connected with some of the showman families that run it. I have never actually been.
Do you ever get like cheeky? Say if they contact you and say, "Can you come down and help us?" and you're like, "Yeah." Do you get some cheeky free rides while you're down there?
I've never asked and I've never tried for Winter Wonderland, but when you work on the machine, and there's one person you may have to ride to balance it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it does happen. Or if you've got you have to put 2 people one end of the cage, 2 people, or 1 person on this end. It's like, try and let me go in place, and then send it, and then you have to waddle to the direction of where you think the door's going to line up. If you get it right, and then open it and let them off and stand there going, "Are you okay? Come on, come on. Are you all right? It's good." and then you're like spinning for about 5 minutes afterwards.
Fairground Collective have put ask Graham about
Spin disc 2 waltzer.
Ruined him twice.
Right. I'm really good friends with the Scarrett's family, and they're a lovely bunch. And Ben, who's the gaff lad who does the spinning, has ruined me twice now. It's 5 minutes non-stop. Your tub's constantly spinning.
Yeah.
The vlog will be up tomorrow. It's edited. I just have to render it, and I stopped for you guys. It'll be on tomorrow, but you will see me die.
You've already got a video on Civic Red Play where you did it before.
Oh God, yeah, at Sixfields. Last year they did the same trick and killed me to the point I was nearly sick.
Is that because they know you, or is that just the general thing they do?
Yeah, it's called the Scarrett Special.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's quite a compliment to get it, but waltzers aren't. It's my white whale.
Are you fans of waltzers normally, or are they not for you?
Well, Graham, not so much. I did like a waltzer, but I got put off once when I was younger. I went to a bonfire night and decided to have a drink.
Yeah.
Come off the waltz. So drinking and
Don't drink
just
and ride.
So you can just imagine coming off a waltz and just not being able to like see or stand, and it kind of put me off. So I've just decided, because Gray obviously got ruined on spinner disc and he wouldn't do it. I'm like, well, come on, Gray, we're going to all these fairs. There's some big like named waltzers that we come across, like Terry Affer, Albert Evans. You're not going to go on it. I'm going to get you into this, and I'm going to have to.
And we did well.
I'm going to have to go along for the journey, because I can't really go, right, off you go, Gray. I'm not doing it now.
I could, it's like, you watch the whole vlog, I think it's 7 minutes with continuously spin. Not Hall, sorry, Hoppins. Albert, no, it's not. It's Terry Arthur's Hellblazer. 7 minutes, we are continuously going and spinning. I walk off, I say, that's brilliant. And I went back on for another 7-8 minutes. Fine. But spinner disc is not like the rest. And it's my white whale. It's the one that will kill me.
It took you ages to even just look at it operating, like being able to stand there and watch it go around.
After the first time they did it to me, it took me 2 months.
Really?
Before I could actually look at it going around, and speak to Phil, Junior, who operates it.
I was at Fairground Collective, but I laughed so hard after that Scarrett special he got.
That's Rob.
Would you ever operate, if you were given the choice, would you ever operate the waltzer?
I'd love to operate one. I'd love to learn to walk one.
Yeah, that's an art form.
It's so graceful, and
they do make it look very.
They make it look so easy, but I kid you not, it's not. I don't think I'd be very good at it. However, I did say to Phil and the boys, if you think you can get me to do it, I trust you. I'll quite happily learn to walk. But
is it a bit more of a? Is it a bit longer to learn that than when you were talking earlier about having, say, 15 minutes or so and then being watched? Is it a bit different when you walk in a waltzer?
Walking a waltzer is like, it's a hyperactive treadmill. It's the way I can describe it. You make one mistake, you are off, and you could you're hit by a car, you could be thrown off down the stairs. I have seen that happen. You can be thrown into a platform, into the backboards, but it's like horse riding. It doesn't come. It's easy to explain, but it's difficult to master.
So I think it'd be like a treadmill / do you know, like the wobble bridges you get in like kids' parks?
Yeah.
Like one of them or something.
It's
like that, but constantly like wobbling.
Can you tell us? We've got a Fairground Collective here saying he'll give Graham credit. He's a great friend and got me over my fear of some rides. What can you name some rides that you helped him?
Yes, this is Rob.
Yeah.
He's the founding member, and in the vlog, he's never done a superstar.
Oh.
And I'm really good friends with Jay. Shout out to Jay Scarrett. Love it. It's the original superstar, the first ever one. It took me 15-20 minutes. You don't see the whole conversation to get him to come on and sit him down. And then he did it reluctantly. And I turned around and I'll tell you now, they're not as bad as they look. It's fear is in the mind of the person. And 15-20 minutes to get him to sit in the seat. He wasn't impressed when it started. He was not impressed when it lifted. And then he turns around and he tells me now that after the first rotate, because there's 8 arms with seats, you sit inwards, the arms splay out, it lifts back to 45 degrees and stops, and then the whole thing pivots on itself. So it rotates over while you're spinning. That's what Retro Squad needs, a superstar. But I don't think it's scary to look. And on the 6th, 7th, 8th rotation over, I look at him and he's like, how old are they? Like, and then he goes, that was mint. And it's like, oh yeah, it is. But you've kind of got to be like with you, Stargate.
Yeah.
Again, took me ages to get it to go on it. And then she stood next to me. And as it started flipping over again, it inverts. She's like, Graham, your feet. I'm like, what? You think I put my feet out?
Just having a full-blown conversation
You
like
think I
it's
put my
normal.
feet out? Because I do it deliberately. I'm like, no, Jen, you can't stand up. So, yeah, as it rotates over, guys, lift your legs. The second it gets to nearly vertical, and as it flips over, you will save yourself from hitting the bars, and your shoulders will take the weight. It's a lot more forgiving, trust me.
So has Fairground Collective been on? I don't know if this is going to be the end of the spectrum where people go, they're scared to do it, or whether it's one of the easy ones. It's quite simple. A booster.
Sorry.
We're all right. So the Fairground Collective is now 8 individuals who are all enthusiasts that we've combined forces with our own platforms and channels and everything to support showmen. So we've all got our own levels of comfort. So I'd love to do a collaboration vlog with Cy Elkins, because me and him are just absolutely bonkers in the most beautiful way. And I do think that would be good. But some guys and girls have their own tolerances and they can't do certain machines. Me, I will literally do anything. I'm a complete lemming. Jen is my ride or die girl on the channel because she literally follows me on everything.
Yeah, it is true.
It's true. Stu is more into photography and the ambience. Tracy, she'll do certain things. Rob has his boundaries, but he's pushing them. We're all different, but You've got
So
to.
it's like me and you though. There's things that I see and go like at Hopkins. You wouldn't go on right. I can't remember what it was called. You wouldn't go on.
Oh, the outward facing enterprise.
But come on, Gray. It looks so much fun. You're like, no.
What was the reason for that, Graham?
I thought it might make me sick. Long story short, because when you watch the video and it's on its side at towers, when Enterprise used to invert and you're going over and round in a loop, I can handle it. But when you turn 45 degrees and the whole thing's going like that in front of you, I don't think it'd be that easy. I don't know if I'll be able to cope. But then you can put me on a top scan for 8 minutes and I'm fine. Put me on a waltzer for 5 and I'm sick as a dog.
It might be placebo effect in your mind rather than what it's actually doing to your body.
I'm curious, after the waltzer, did you actually have anything to eat after that as well?
I haven't found the X Factor. I haven't found the. I don't know if it's technique or what. I haven't found my way to deal with or handle certain things. If you want to write me off, take me to Spinner Disc 2, 4 or 5 minutes, and I'm done.
That's quite good. 5 minutes.
Hang on, your sound's gone a little crazy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, hello?
You hear us now?
Yeah, I can hear it. It's better, but it sounded a little
Like tinny.
digitalized.
Ooh.
So with Hop-ins, is that the main? Because when it happened, so many people I knew in the community were sort of going, "Oh, I've got to go to that one," and everyone, is that the main one in the community?
Hop-ins is your biggest in Newcastle, and it's good. It's like a mile-long stretch, but this is where you get into arguments. Physically, it's Hull, but for variety, it's Goose. And then you have Links Cucardi, Neath, Hop-ins, that are all decently sized as well. And there's not so much repetition as the others.
Are you allowed to pick a favourite if I ask you?
Goose Fair.
Yeah. What would be your reason for that?
It's 20 minutes down the road. I lovingly call it the playground, and it's the one I grew up going to.
We've got some fond memories as well.
Yeah, it's the first time I did a top scan, the first time I did a top spin. There's so many firsts.
But I do like Hop-ins.
Would you say that's your favourite, Jen?
See, people must be loyal and say Goose, but I don't know what it is about Hop-ins.
Hop-ins is a good fair.
I just second time going, and I loved it even more than the first time I went. You know what I mean? And everybody was friendly. The weather was beautiful. I mean, no disrespect to Goose, but you've got like back end.
Oh.
The weather can be either cold, raining, which.
Yeah.
When you've done your hair, you don't want to look like a grounded rat. You know what I mean? It's like, I do like Goose, but I think Hopkins has like...
Really?
Yeah, I do.
Exclusive.
NF Attractions has put, I went Goose Fair last year for the first time and was shocked on the size of it. Also, never know you can get spinning Ferris wheels until that fair.
Yeah, the thing is, the one on Blackpool Central Pier you can spin. I've had that experience on a windy day.
Is it just pivoting on the ground, I assume?
No, it's literally just designed to do it. Every big Ferris wheel, unless it's something like a cable car, every single one that's like a round seating arrangement, you can spin.
Oh, I get you.
Yeah.
Do you know what
And
I reckon?
a lot of the people will spin you as you go past through the station, bit to load.
Do you know what I reckon NF Attractions, if he does ever get to Hull, I'm just looking at the conversation that they've got going off between them at the minute, and they're just saying go to Hull if Goose has impressed you. But I reckon it'd be really good because he does photography as well on the side, so, well, included. But I think he'd be really good at doing photography for it as well.
Hull,
It's just such nice that everyone's got something different to bring, like, to the community, though, isn't it? Like, everyone's got something quite unique in themselves, and then...
that's the thing with funfair, the
Yeah.
funfair community versus theme park. Like, you got a theme park might have a new ride at the start of the season. Yeah, I know the Air Raid 2, which is Spin Jam. The original machine will finish its season this year at Towers, is being exported over to the Middle East, and the 2-year stint it's done there has paid for the showman to have a new machine, which I've only seen the back of,
Wow.
and it looks impressive.
Wow, that sounds awesome.
And you can get new stuff through the year or year. It's fluid, basically, and that's why I love it.
When you get all this, I mean, it's really interesting information. When you get it, do you get it like word of mouth almost, or are there like fan sites with really big fans?
Some of it's word of mouth. Some of it is knowing where to watch on Facebook. I have more showman affairs than I follow than I care to think. I have a list of enthusiast sites from England to Welsh specifically, Scottish specifically, and then European. I literally, and all funfair enthusiasts will do the same. They cast their net very far and very wide. And then if you hear rumours, and then you'll hear a bit more and a bit more and a bit more, and then they come true. There'll be some you think, yeah, that's never going to happen, and then it happens, and you're like, well.
Would you do vintage fairs as well, like go on the vintage rides?
I do vintage.
Rides.
I don't do it. I don't do it specifically. But it's like where was it when we did the carousel first? No. It was Grand National weekend.
Oh yeah.
Billy Bates. It was Grand National weekend, and I like to start on a ride, and it's like, Jen, let's do this. And then since it was Grand National weekend, we started on the Gallopers, did the intro, and then went from there. I do like traditional stuff, but I love white knuckle.
Someone's asking, has anyone bought Carter's?
I've heard that some of their stuff has gone to other vintage fairs. Some has gone to there's a museum somewhere near Scarborough. They've got some of their stuff. So, but it's a shame that ended the way it ended. I never got to go.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to go. The time I discovered it, it was like, oh, it's its last
We
year.
got to ride the flying yachts though, which was fun. We went to a very small vintage one at Wollerton Hall.
Yeah, we went to a similar one, but not.
Oh, you're near me then.
Yeah, I probably won't tell people live on the show. I can talk after.
We'll talk after.
Yeah, I'll talk about it because I know that they did Goose Fair one year.
Oh, really?
And I didn't realise what I was looking at. But as Jen will tell you, I'll tell the story now before you even start. There's a showman I'm really good friends with, and his name is Cy Abbott, and he has New York, and he is absolutely incredible. Yeah, you do. The first year he attended Goose Fair, it was there.
2017, right?
Oh, you remember the... Right, it was 2017. AB Danta was there with Air for the first time, and it was half white, half yellow. And Jen's like, let's go on this, it looks fun. And I turned around, and my words were, no, Jen, I know what I've come for. I'm here for a specific machine. If you'd have told me the season after that, that would be the guy I'd be chasing down. Oh, it bit me massively. And then she told him.
You
And
know,
then
maybe
she
he's
told
still
him.
doing
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, that happened.
that. I just
Deprive
answered
me. See, deprive me every time. I've got an eye for things, Gray. You need to listen to me more.
Just quickly, NF attractions, the steam yachts, or if they're called
They're
flying, or
flying
steam,
yachts.
I don't know. There might be steam yachts.
Basically,
They were
like,
at Wollerton, I think. We did a vlog about it. It's on the channel.
yeah.
I filmed on ride with it.
Basically, there's a guy in the middle. It's more.
I think he knows what it is. He's just asking when it was there.
Yeah, there's a guy in the middle though. It seemed more like
Are
pneumatic
you-
than
I'm just going to ask
trying
out
to
of
get the power
interest.
behind it.
Just going to ask out of interest, Graham.
Yeah.
Do you know? I'm guessing our retro squad going completely after this season.
Well,
Don't say anything you're not allowed to say. Like, I don't want to get you in trouble with anyone, but
as far as I'm aware, they only were contracted for 3 years.
Hmm.
However, Nemesis reopens next year.
Yeah.
they're
They-
probably not going to want.
They don't have. I mean, that's going to drag so many people. I don't know about you guys, but me personally, I will count that as new cred.
Hmm.
I don't really count threats, but
Oh, I do, yeah.
I don't. It is a new roller coaster in the shape of a coaster that was on the same spot. It's not Nemesis. It's another
It's
roller coaster, isn't it?
the way I look at it. Planning permission was applied for. 90% of it has been replaced, reprofiled. It's a new cred. But then again,
I agree with you.
I also count Enzo as a new cred.
I think Fairground Collective have just put contracts expired.
Yeah, it reminds me of. I don't know if you
Just to
saw.
confirm.
I don't know if you saw that episode of
It's cover
Only
up,
Fools and
mate.
Horses where Trigger had the broom, and it had been
Yeah.
through like 5 handles and 7 brush heads. It's a bit like that. It's not not that it's a bad thing, but to me, they've literally bought a new roller coaster. It just happens to be pretty much the exact same shape of a coaster that was on that spot. When you think,
But
about
it's the one. It's the one that made me a coaster enthusiast.
Oh yeah. I'm not. I'm just saying.
I'm glad.
I agree with your cred.
I'm glad it's back. I'm glad it's going to be another 30 years. I am now 42. So if it does another 30 years, I'll be 72. If it does 30 more years.
Do you think? Just talking about that for a second. Do you think there's a lot more
Sorry.
storyline and kind of drama to play out because they've almost finished building it? So I assume they're going to have so much time left this season. I know they probably need to test it and stuff. But do you think there's a lot more storyline to come and drama, like with the story of Nemesis still?
I don't know, because that kind of brings us on to our game later.
Oh, we can get into that now if you want.
Oh, it's going to cause so many arguments. But
It's just like,
I'm just happy to see it being built. I'm happy to relive 1993. I do like the prestige and this the circus of media they've created. But the whole phalanx thing,
you're not a fan.
no, I'm not. And it's where I become a little bipolar because I do go to parks and I do love coasters, but the rest of it is kind of weighted on me. I just want to get on and have a ride.
Are you not really into the backstories or the lore sort of thing?
You're more the thrill than the theming.
Yeah. 100%.
Knock that question in there. Been doing it in every single one. Sorry.
Yeah, you're all right. It's just like seeing Phantom Chaser like building their up. It's like, oh,
So
I
I've got
just you go on.
no, you can finish what you're saying first if you
I
want.
just the only place that's ever blown me away was Disney. Like the
Is that
level.
is that just for theme parks, or is that including funfair?
Yeah, it's the only theme park I've ever been to where I've gone, and it's like this could be Indiana Jones. Aerosmith, Rock and Roller Coaster. It's like I kind of got a little. I like Aerosmith, so I kind of got a little bit lost in the moment and carried away with myself. And I did regress to being a 5-year-old when I was there. I lost it when I saw Chip and Dale.
Oh,
Well, no, I did. It was like Rescue Rangers, so I ran over and hugged them.
yeah.
And it's a different level. It's a different. I think if you ever do Phantasialand, you will have to film me, and I think I will cry. I probably, yeah.
Did
Of
you cry when
happiness.
you saw the castle at Disney?
Yes,
Yes.
a little bit. Yeah, I welled up. I'm like, oh my god, it's real. And then I remember looking to my left, and that's where Chip and Dale were, and I was like,
And you're like,
that was it. Yeah. I bought a massive photo of me posing with Minnie Mouse, and I made my dad put it up in his hallway, and it's sat there for years.
Oh.
I suppose Alton Bear doesn't have the same ring to him as these Disney characters, does he?
The problem with Alton is, I want a Phantasialand. If you're going to sell me a theme, let's do it. And I think Nemesis is the closest we've ever come, singularly, to doing that for me personally.
Is that how Nemesis is being done now, or how it was before you're talking about?
I loved it how it was before, so now I will probably lose my. I will be meeting 14-year-old me again. No, wait. Yeah, I'll be re-meeting 14-year-old me again.
I can't wait to see it when it's like, when you've got your Scarefest and you've got your late night riding. Father
Yeah, I
used
think
to light it up with the red light because of the red on the new track.
Yeah.
apparently it's going to have UV paint on it, so it should light up some other designs as well.
Oh my god.
Is it actually confirmed that now?
No,
Yeah.
but it's one of those things.
think
Oh, is
it'd
it
be
confirmed?
really-
It's one of those things that so many people talked about it. If it doesn't happen,
Mm.
it's almost going to be.
It'd be so freaking
Disappointing.
worth it, honestly. Because we were talking about it before, like when they just released the track, didn't we? And we're like, oh, I bet this looks cool. And
I really want to see LED lights on the trains.
Yes.
mm,
And
Feel like something out of Fast and Furious, wouldn't it? You know, we got them under the cars.
oh, and yeah.
I love it though. But then again, that's back to the fairs.
I can't help but think Knight Rider with the light that goes across. at the
Oh,
front.
imagine if they got the guy's
Oh.
voice.
Like that. That
Yeah.
would be
Do you reckon they
cool.
get Tom Baker
That
soundtrack
would
back?
be cool.
Do you know what? The only soundtrack that's ever blown me away for a ride is
Silver Star at Europa Park.
no, Blackpool Icon.
Oh, really?
Yeah. When we're queuing up, it's like the music's going. I'm like, yeah, I like this. This is all right. And then by the time I get into the station, it's gone like, I can take on the world. This is brilliant. Let's go. And then I've actually downloaded the song, all 7 minutes, and I do play it every now and then at home. It's on my playlist.
Do you?
Yeah, you don't know
Wow.
that. Yeah.
That's not too bad. I've got a friend, and I'm not going to say who it is, who I know, who downloaded the someone made an hour-long loop of the Smiler soundtrack,
Oh
which is,
no.
and he listens to it in his car. But it's just
No.
laughing.
No. Seriously?
I don't want to say his name. He's not a major. He's not in the chat right now. He's not a major enthusiast.
I'm going to say, I'll happily confess some soundtracks that I've got.
I can't do Smiler.
I like
Did you-
Smile and Matt Taylor's, and that's about it. I couldn't listen to it in the car or anything.
Yeah, I
So-
like the
Should I-
coaster.
Should tell the people at home what the overlay's kind of covering up a bit, but I brought back Destination Persuasion, which is like Room 101, and I asked you 3 things before the show that you wanted to put on it. I'll get rid of the overlay for now. And
Right,
the first one was flat rides. Do you want to talk us through that?
It's not particularly flat rides, it's the term flat rides. Now,
The phrase, yeah.
Enterprise, Maelstrom, Ramesses, Ripsaw, 101 night, 1001 nights. When you say it's a flat ride, it's like, no, it's not. And it just grates on me a little bit. It's the terminology, because Maelstrom is a gyro swing. A flat ride is literally anything that runs parallel to the floor. So a carousel, a sizzler, any kind of juvenile roundabout that doesn't lift, move, or manipulate its motion, that's a flat ride.
Yeah.
Like waltz.
So yeah,
Yeah.
waltzes are a grey area.
It depends, because some of them like wave, don't they, as they go around, but then others are like just flat and go round.
What it means is like Maelstrom's an actual swing. It's not.
Yeah, it's an Maelstrom's a swing, where a waltz is actually, the base is actually flat, so you could call it a flat ride.
Well, that's what I thought it would be, but
Yeah,
there is some waltzes where as it goes round it actually waves up and down, doesn't it? But
Not
then there's
too
some
much,
waltzes
though.
that just spin and they actually just stay flat and then just go round. And
Yeah.
I don't know all the technical terms, I'm so sorry, but
Just because you brought that up, actually, I don't have the photo on here.
I don't know all the jargon.
But I saw the photo on Instagram a few weeks ago. There was I think it was in France. There was a swinging ship, and each end had a cage that people could stand in.
yep,
What's your opinion on that?
that's a pendulum ride.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I don't mean in this flat ride. Sorry, I should have said that better. What?
Oh, standing up, I'd love to try it.
Yeah. I thought the same. A lot of people I know said, "No, that's dangerous. That's stupid." And I thought that actually looks quite. As long as you're not packed in with a lot of people, that looks really fun.
I'd probably really like jumping at the top of the swing.
Yeah.
To try and get a little bit of an airtime pop. Or
I've known some other bloggers to do that and they freaked out because they weren't expecting to go that high.
What, on this cage?
Yeah, on the cage.
that's also the thing. Like, you don't realise, but if you actually look at the boat's not level, it's V'd. So when you do it like that, you're literally talking, you're on like a 50, 60 degrees slant
Yeah.
in a cage. But that's half the fun for me. Yeah, I'd give it a go.
So it's the term flat ride. It's not flat rides.
No, it's the terminology, how it's used. Yeah, like low key at Lisenberg.
Yeah.
If I said that right.
Well, I say Leesburg, but apparently it's pronounced Leesyburg or something.
Oh, Lisenberg, right? Okay. It's 100 or something foot tall, and it swings for 120 degrees. It's never been flat in its life. So yeah, it's the terminology basically. That's my first one.
I'm going to say is people can say in the comments if they agree with this.
I'm a bit conscious of it now because I've said flat rod so many times in our previous ones. I'm like, oh.
It's personal preference. It's not right, but it's not wrong.
So your second choice was pre-shows. Now this isn't a photo of a pre-show. This is just a photo of a show. That's all I had. But
because we're not allowed
right. I've only ever had one UK pre-show wow me, and that was the Haunting. Rate of Manor. Yeah. Which, funnily enough, I absolutely loved until I got into the ride system, sat down and went, look to the left, look to the right, and I'd queued an hour. And I was like, are you kidding me for this?
That's what I thought.
Had you ridden that before you'd ever ridden Hex?
No. Yes. Yeah. And it's the whole... I'm not great with queuing at the best of times.
Yeah.
But when you go into a room, we told a story, to go into another room, to have a few visual effects and a little bit more of a story, go into a ride that's like 90 seconds and it's done. I spent more time in the other two rooms than I did on the attraction.
Yeah.
I thought that room was quite small as well. The actual ride bit we're talking about.
And then, well, it is. And then when you do Wicker Man, first time you do it, you're like, wow, yeah, this is great. And then it's what, 5 years old now, and now you're like, right, I've got to sit through this 5 minutes to get to the air gates. It's like, can you just open the door and let me?
I felt that way about Hex.
I agree with Fairground Collective here, though. He said pre-shows, aka walk past moments that slow the ride experience.
Well, a pre-show is not just another way of making you forget you're still queuing for the ride.
Yes, it is. It's a staging area, basically. And if you, I don't say buy into, if it works on you and you let it go and you're in the world and you're in the headset and I wish I could do that, but it doesn't work for me. Which is probably why I don't like Subterra.
Have you ever been
I've not been on Subterra yet.
Have you ever been on the Curse of Alton Manor?
No, I haven't done it, but I'm excited to. I love a ghost train.
Yeah.
I do work sometimes with Ryan Barwick on Phantom Chaser, Leonard Derry on Roller Coaster. So I kind of, the thing is, when you work on them and you have a bit of an idea, you're very much more into the experience and the execution. So anything that prolongs it is a bit like, come on. But then saying that, my favourite part of a roller coaster is being locked in, not knowing when it's going to go.
Really?
Yeah. So you sat at the station of Nemesis, and then the floor drops, and there's that brief.
13.
Yeah. No. When you're in the station, and the floor drops, and you sat there, and you're like, "We're going to go anytime soon. So when is it?"
Oh yeah, sorry.
It's that little that I love, but it doesn't for me translate into a pre-show.
I think we're divided here. I know Fairground Collective says they're not. Well, they slow the ride experience down, but I assume they don't like them. But a lot of other people have said they like.
It doesn't really, because it's all calculated.
It's not calculated well though, because Alton Towers, the Wicker Man one, sometimes if they batch too quick, they will come in and interrupt the pre-show.
Yeah, they just tell you to move along.
Before the lights come on, everyone rushes forward and forgets that fence is there, so everyone just plows into that fence.
I've never had that experience. I've always done the whole thing, and it wasn't till who were it? Somebody when it was Twitter. Have you noticed people and the eyes and the mouth burning?
Oh,
no,
yeah.
I've never noticed that before. So I had to go onto YouTube, watch it, and then go, "Oh yeah, it does." No, I never noticed that in 4 years.
We played the old what I used to call the Hex game, but Hex, I don't know if that's ever going to come back. What I used to do at the end of Hex, the ride, I used to clap to see how many people in the room get to clap. Now I do that at the end of the Wicker Man pre-show, and sometimes it gets most of the room clapping.
I kind of wish I said that, clapping at the end of roller coasters.
Oh no, I never do at the end of a roller coaster.
Some do.
Yeah.
No, I wish I said that now.
Actually, before we go on to the third choice, just out of curiosity, you just made me think something. I once went on a ride called Kanonen at Leesburg. It's not there anymore. And when I went on it, I was with a group of people, and one person who counted creds, we got evac'd on the brake run. And he said, that doesn't count. Does it count or not? We had to go back on it for him. You get evac. We were literally about to go. We were on the brake run.
A bit towards the end.
Yeah.
We were literally on the brake run, and then we had to get battery packed out by the restraints. Because does that count?
I'd argue that counts.
Okay.
Because every coaster you'll go on will pause on the brake run before it enters the station if the other one hasn't been batched and sent. So you're already in. You're in. So I'd argue that. Well, then again, if it's a good coaster, I wouldn't argue. I'd go around again for you.
I was going to say, someone's just reminding me actually, speaking of clapping, someone's just mentioned Travels with the Jones. We put clap with the curse at a certain place as well. We've clapped when we've seen certain doll and things
we clap when we see the duck. Yeah.
The duck and the doll.
But really, the Wicker Man thing's more of a joke to see how much of the room you can get clapping because they don't know you're going to do it. And then everyone just joins in because they're like, oh, we're clapping, aren't we? We're just
like
clapping because everyone's getting burned by this Scottish
But I know
guy.
we've kind of clapped in between because we've noticed some things and we were like, oh, that's really cool. You know.
The duck's back in the curse.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Throwing that for you.
I didn't know that.
Other little Easter eggs in there when you ever get the chance to
I'm not going to
go
ruin
on.
anything else for you.
Graham.
But I'm
Well, I
not
didn't know that.
going to ruin anything else for him. But one of our friends donated a doll and it got put in. And we found out where it was. That's when we clap. Now you mention it. We always clap when we see his daughter's doll's in there.
Yeah.
And whenever we go past it, we clap.
We've also got Daryl Dazza Morgan that obviously is a fan of the duck. So when we saw the duck, we were sat with obviously Daryl on the same coach and we were just like, yay! When we sort of saw it.
Jen hates the duck.
Well, we won't tell you.
Anyway, not spoiling any more for you there.
Upcharge attractions. Who loves upcharge
I can't
attractions?
help it.
Sydney.
Right. The only upcharge attraction you'll ever see me pay for is Enzo.
Would you pay for it again?
I've not done it. I'll do it once for the cred, and that is it. But you pay what £6 for parking unless you've got a platinum pass. Your food. You're gonna want cameras. Didge, get down. that's my dog. You're gonna want merch. You're gonna want photos. I don't want to pay extra. Like, do you have to pay for Black Mirror Maze at Thor?
I'm not sure.
I think you had to get a ticket. I won't pay. I won't pay for that.
No, you've mentioned Thor.
You paid a couple of quid and then you have to book ahead for a time slot, wasn't it? Well, but it was like round COVID time when I knew about it.
I was just going to ask, because the ULEZ charge at Chessington, would that make you think twice about going to Chessington now?
I don't know.
They're talking about extending it to Surrey as well.
Yes, it would put me off.
Because it's put me, if I'm being honest, and I'm not saying I'm saying I might be a minority.
Oh.
It's put me off going to Chessington because I'm like, that's £12.50 extra I've got to pay.
Thanks, Dave's Adventures in Coasting with the Joneses. They've actually said
Black
it's
Mirror
free.
is free.
They've said it's free.
Oh, is it free?
Yeah.
Right. If it had an upcharge, I wouldn't pay it. So the dungeons, no way. No. I will walk past. In fact, I don't think I get past Dark Forest. In fact, the closest I'll get is Skyride.
Are you not going to go on Gangster Granny?
No. No.
They've got what about
I
Fabulous Fandango?
It's just Twister.
Yeah, I actually thought that was part of the Retro Squad the first year I saw that.
Well, originally it was supposed to be, but
And they themed it.
well, I do love a Twister or a Sizzler, but it's probably going to be the batching time because when I work on a ride, I will situate you in a seat. I'll put you in, lock you in, check it visually, and then double check it and move on to the next person. So I don't have to look at you twice. The one thing that winds me up is when they sit you down, they close you in, and then they go and do a check. And then they do, so it's a visual, and then they do the bar check, and it's like you could have done both of them when you first put me here in the first place. So I tend to skip flat rides. I've just said it. I tend to skip fill rides unless it really draws me in, like Maelstrom or Ripsaw did. I only did Spin Jam because I really wanted to ride it, and I'd never been on the machine before. And for the last 30 seconds, when it goes full speed, it was brilliant.
Yeah.
It's just a shame the other minute wasn't that great. Because they could do so much more.
So you wouldn't do scare mazes?
That's a different kettle of fish.
Okay.
Scare mazes are Halloween and seasonal, and I absolutely love the live action actors to the point where if it wasn't for doing Scarefest, going to Dr. Fright Nights wouldn't have happened. And I will pay to be scared and chased.
Is Jen the same, or is she the other side?
I got him into it. I got him into Scarefest.
Okay.
Yeah, she
It was
did.
me that was kind of like, you've got to do it, you've got to do it. But I started, how long have they been doing it? How many years have they been doing Scarefest for?
Jen, you've been going.
I've been going, wow. I can remember when we went in the cornfields. Remember that one?
Oh, Field of 1,000 Screams.
Yeah.
I remember when they did the Gloomy Wood live. I remember when they did the Ghost Train. That was live.
Oh, they did it live, yeah.
Oh
The
my word!
first time they did the circus.
Yeah.
And the big gorilla
the boiler
came
hat.
out.
You know, like, it was, the last time I went, I enjoyed it, but it was just lacking. Do you know, from like when I've been previous, they were changing it up, and then it just got very
same old
repetitive. So I got really a bit disappointed with it. So I haven't been for a few years.
And then we did Dr. Fright's.
Yeah, and then we've done Dr. Fright's. And then when you go to Dr. Fright's, that's a whole new level. And then there's all like other ones that like.
If you've never been, it's definitely worth the money. I'd pay more.
You done Passage del Terror?
Yeah.
Yeah, every time I go to Blackpool. Again, scare mazes I don't mind paying. Get off, dude. Scare mazes I don't mind paying for, but
it's more things that are there all year round that they're upcharging you don't like.
Yeah, like I don't want to pay £12 to do the dungeons to be found out I'm a hypothetical thief or a murderer, and then sit in a dark boat ride when I would have rather gone around Toyland Tours.
Oh, I do miss Toyland Tours, yeah.
I suppose it's like the pre-show thing. It just doesn't, unless it's a scare maze and it's Halloween or fear-based, it doesn't really get me.
Yeah.
Or I don't get it.
See, I agree with Fairground Collective on this one. So scare mazes should be free inside theme parks. It should be accounted for the price of entry.
I agree with him, but I understand there are people that will say we want to go in there to see the theming in the park and not go on the scare mazes. But
again, though, I do believe Scarefest used to be, when I started going, there was like you had to walk through. There was a couple that was free in, and you had to pay out near, because it's near the hotel.
Yeah.
And you had your mazes. So they did do that, and then obviously they brought it into the grounds rather than.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we did that one year where we had to pay at the hotel and then go in.
Like the Gloomy Woods was free.
Thinking of it, but yeah.
I think first year I ever did it, they did the.
You went in the Field of the Thousand Screams?
No. They put live actors in the. It was Jewel then. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Fantastic. Second year I went, they had live actors in the queue for 13.
That was, yeah.
That was good. And after that, it became a bit, to me, a bit like.
It's like when we did the attic, really excited to do that now because it was new, and and it's part of the towers that you don't really get to go in, isn't it?
Yeah.
And but I wouldn't go and do it again. Now I've done it.
Oh, do you remember the year, my first year? There was a room full of mannequins, and I walked up to one and I went, "Are you real?" And the guy just turned around, looked at me, and went, "Yeah." Oh my God, I absolutely
That
Oh,
reminds me. I've got a similar story. When I was in Grönland in Stockholm, they've got a all-year haunted house there, and there's a big bit in the haunted house where you go and there's like a big staircase in the middle, and it's usual big hall. And there was a Billy doll, like a human-sized one, and I was laughing at it because I went, "Look, they've put the doll from Saw in it. It doesn't fit any of the rest of this theming." And then halfway up the staircase, he comes to life. We've just taken the mick out of him.
yeah.
Because it was all like medieval almost, and we just got this life-size like Billy doll, whatever he's called, and it's like this doesn't fit. And I was kind of laughing, thinking it was a prop.
That would work on me.
Well, to be fair, Gray's one of the worst people to go through a scare maze with because he bolts and then leaves me.
I'm the other way round. I kind of try to stop people, and I've even shouted before when people are running or trying to push me. I go, "Stop! I've paid for this. I want to see the sets."
Gray will bolt. He has left me quite a few times.
Oh, really?
And then I'm there, like surrounded, and I'm like having a meltdown because I'm on my own. I've got no one to help me.
Yeah.
Or there's been 1 or 2 times where I won't go to the back of the queue. I've only ever done it once, and I didn't like it, so I send him to the back if we're at the back. I'll lead. But I'm one of the worst people to lead because if I hesitate, everybody's hesitating, and they shout at me, and I'll shout back at them.
Yeah.
So we are quite funny, but he will bolt if he's got the opportunity to, and then I'm just
Yeah.
I don't like being at the back. That's the main one I don't like. I don't
even mind anymore because it's like
it just.
I think it's a bit like what you said about. It sounds a bit bad now. It's like what Graham said about pre-shows, where it's got to work for you to like it.
Yeah.
In the scare maze, I'm enjoying the scare maze. This could sound like I don't know, but I'm very aware that they're trying to get me through as quick as possible to make that money and get another group through. So they're not going to keep me there and go, "Ha, I've got you." And I'm always very aware of that in my head. So I'm like, they might try and scare me off, but they're not going to trap me and go. I'm always very aware of that.
There was the one year, Passage of Terror, and you'd all gone through the last room, and I was like this. You have the wall, and I went, "There's a door there." So I got really into it. I'm like, "There's something sat there," and I'm like leaning over the barrier, and then next thing you know, the guy who's in there, dressed as what he is, where the chainsaw comes out, and it's probably 3 meters from where I was to the door. I was at full sprint by the time I hit the door, and I pushed everybody out the way to get through the door.
It's good fun though.
Yeah.
Cracking memory.
So what does everyone think in the comments? I don't know what you think. Which one of those 3 do you think should be is the worst thing?
See, I
Got
quite
the
agree.
term flat rides, which I know exactly where it's coming from there.
Yeah, and I get that. So the flat rides is one. What was the other one again?
Pre-shows.
I've kind of took myself out of upcharge, haven't I, with scare mazes?
I'd say upcharge to attractions, like obviously like the Enzo. I want to say Enzo. I think because you've paid to get.
I'm surprised they're still charging for that,
and you're still using the same track and everything. So it's like, well, why? I don't know.
Yeah, you've
I know. I get it. I they have to put them on and stuff, but I don't know. What does everyone else think? Some people are talking, saying they get scared. Scare mazes anyway.
Which is funny, yeah.
Don't get scared. I find scare mazes funny.
I found Dr. Side hilarious watching him. I was laughing all the way through it because he was just being picked on left, right, and centre, which kind of like helped me through.
Wasn't he like a clown? And he was chasing me around a hay bale, and I'm like,
"Oh yeah, I looked at there was
you and the two other people that was with us in a group of 4 just stood there. I'm like, why won't you help me?"
Which one do you think is?
Well, which one do you think?
Which one do I think? Well, do you want me to say which one I think?
Yeah, because I've said what I think.
I think flat rides. out of those three,
Hmm.
because I can see where he's coming from, and
Yeah.
people seem to, I don't know if it's right or wrong, but some people seem to rope anything that's not a roller coaster as a flat ride. Like suddenly we're calling water rides flat rides and dark rides flat rides, and there might be flat rides, but flat rides is such a broad term if you're going to use it for that.
Yeah.
But I don't know what you would say, you know.
Oh. Just have a look what the other comments have put. It says coasting with the Joneses. We have done Enzo once, and we so want to do
Again,
Ride to Happiness. Yeah, Ride to Happiness.
Oh,
I was gonna say,
well, I'll give you guys an exclusive since it's your 70th. Oh, by the way, happy 70th episode.
Thank you.
I didn't realise it was 70th episode. When we branch out to Europe, we will do the odd cred run.
Ooh.
So coasters will kind of be coming, but they will always come second to our main mantra, which is basically supporting our showman.
Yeah.
And World Fun Fair Month starts tomorrow. So
yeah, I was going to say, we timed that right.
Well, basically, if you guys send a video saying this September we'll be supporting our showman for World Fun Fair Month, and send it to the Fairground Collective Messenger, or you can do Fairground Collective at outlook.com. I will make sure that it makes it for the final edit tomorrow.
Oh, cool.
But we're not, are we allowed to film it in our house? We're not going to be at a fairground before tomorrow.
You don't have to be. You don't have to be.
You can look up. You've got Carter's letter writing book, haven't you?
I have it here. All the old school Carter's Jungle Thriller.
It's signed, isn't it?
The Lost Ark and things like that. I've got loads of like Steam Carter fairs.
That'll do. You like, yeah. You just go send it to the message, and then Rob will fire it to me, and it will make the final edit, which will be live when I've sent it to him tomorrow evening after our personal live with the Fairground Collective, the World Fun Fair Month, and then my vlog goes live tomorrow.
When's the
live?
It
starts tomorrow.
What time?
It's the 1st September, right the way through for the entire month.
You're live.
You're live.
The live is tomorrow, probably, if anything from past experiences, probably from about 9 o'clock.
Okay.
No, it's a laugh.
We might promote it because no one knows about this, but I might do a short live tomorrow. Because what I was trying to get done today, but I didn't get done in time, I was trying to get a highlights clip, and then I thought I'll do a live tomorrow and talk about it because it's not theme park related. But CITV finishes tomorrow, and I thought I'd talk about some memories of shows I watched as a kid and you watched as a kid.
Yeah.
And people might want to.
You mentioned some shows.
Because it's tomorrow. It finishes. It's the last day it's airing. Then the channel's gone.
God, what I used to watch as a kid.
What did we used to watch?
BBC.
No, yeah, it was 5. It was 4 channels.
4 channels, yeah.
Yeah.
What was on CITV? I think The Lost Cities of Gold was on CITV. There was a Dungeons and Dragons cartoon I used to watch.
Nightmare.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch Nightmare?
Yeah.
Raccoon.
Oh, the raccoons as well, yeah.
Raccoons! He remembers the
So
raccoons!
I used to watch the raccoons.
Oh, you're the person I know that knows raccoons.
But I might do like a half-hour live tomorrow. And
Oh my
I'm
God.
only done with the DVD
if
set
we
of
do that,
raccoons.
I'll get an overlay made and I'll link to your live so people can watch that.
If it wasn't for CITV, I wouldn't have watched Samurai Pizza Cats.
Yes!
You remember it?
Samurai Pizza Cats!
Oh my!
It wouldn't get away with it now, would they?
Tune as well.
Oh, you know the guy that did this Captain Planet Turtles. I think.
This dancer in Travel with the Joneses is going on demand, but it's not CITV anymore. It's ITVX Kids, and then it's not a channel anymore. So CITV is dead.
It's like putting it in a bin.
Nightmare was brilliant.
Oh,
But,
Samurai Pizza Cats.
I'm just going to plug. Next week we got Discovery Explorers, Shannon and David on from Arizona. It's going to be 11 a.m. their time, so they're going to be on next week.
Oh, awesome! Looking forward to it too.
And I don't know if we want to play it before we go. I've realised I had a short highlights of some of the clips from your channel I didn't play at the start.
I'll do it.
So play that.
Yeah,
So we'll play
that's
that,
it.
and then we'll see the show out after
just
that.
follow his. Point that way.
We
Follow
might come
his
back.
socials as
We'll come
well,
back quickly and remind everyone to follow
We'll
it.
say
But it's
that
only
way.
about a minute long. But it was funny because I did this kind of quickly. I went through some of your vlogs I'd watched, and then we just sat there and watched loads more. And we're like, "This is brilliant."
And that's what I did.
You just got a smile on your face the whole time. It's just brilliant.
Yeah, tomorrow, Scarrett's Northampton Racecourse will be going live. That's the one with spinner disc. It's one of the few where I forgive my language.
It's okay.
That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Forgive my language.
Oh, in the vlog, you mean?
Yeah, tell somebody to off. But I wasn't being picked on at the time.
Well, I'll play this like minute long highlights from your channel, and then we'll come back and close the show.
Yeah.
Out. Yeah.
Hey, I think we're back. Oh, we go. We're off. Okay. Oh, out straight to the arm out to the side. Just give us all. Oh, he's sending it. Oh. Whoa! Up and down. Yeah! All right, so far not bad. The best way to do it. Oh, I feel that. Whoa! That's some power. Come on, buddy. That's it. That were a vibe. Do you know what? I recommend that. I really do. That was the most bonkers 4 minutes I've ever had.
Yeah.
Yay!
That last one is the when I fell into the wall.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yeah. We did it. It's kind of sweet that you did that. That vlog was our 3-year anniversary, and every year we go to Dronfield and we do Farrow's Funfair there. And it's the first time I've started on a waltzer, and I get off and I literally fall into the wall as I walk by.
oops.
I've got the link in the description anyway. If people should go over to your channel and watch it.
Yeah, I'm actually quite mad watching it back. I'm quite bonkers to watch.
It's fun.
There's such joy on your face though, and you're like, hang on a minute, I'll turn you back round, and then you like, on some of your vlogs. So
It's that one with the dodgems at the start. You said, I'm going to turn you off. I've got to find the dodgems. And then
Yeah.
like 2 seconds later, you're like, back on. I've found the dodgems.
Oh, that's
Oh my God, that was so embarrassing. It was.
As he was saying it, I'm like chuckling to myself. So I'm like, I know where these dodgems are. See, we've just done the walk round,
Yeah.
and you're like, so we found the dodgems. I'm like,
Yeah, I thought they were further down, and then I remember turning the camera off, walking around the freak out, and then turning it back on and going, yeah, so we found the dodgems.
But no, it's
There's no
fun. It's
dodge- There's no dodgy
Everyone,
bad.
I'll put your Instagram in the description as well. And Coaster Daddy did the joke of the week. His stuff's down there. And yeah, there's I don't know if there's any other stuff you want to promote before we wrap it up, Graham and Jen.
Well, I'll be doing more content now at the back end of the season because I've literally just scored myself a full-time job. So yeah, back end run's going to be great. Fairground Collective, check them all out. There is 8 amazing people with other platforms and channels that
I'll put that in the
you
description.
lead to.
Watching the catch up, it'll be in the description by then.
Yeah, and if you want more content like this, Like, share, subscribe, and click the bell for more notification because these guys are brilliant.
Oh, cheers.
Thank
And also
you.
go on I've got your links in the description. And yeah, for anyone who wants to watch, I think tomorrow, maybe about, I don't know yet. It's only going to be about half an hour. Do a CITV thing.
I think it might be the same time as 7, but it might be a little bit later.
I'll do it before 9 because then I can advertise your live before it goes live.
I'll happily go on too.
Yeah, you can do. Yeah. Anyone's welcome to come on if they want to.
Yay!
I thoroughly recommend it. It's been an hour and 25 minutes blast, and I would definitely come back to it again.
Aw, we've enjoyed
Yeah.
it.
It's been good. The only other thing I'll
Amazing.
say, ending on Dodgems, if you ever get a chance to go, I know it's quite restrictive letting adults in, but if you ever get a chance to go to Gulliver's Kingdom in Matlock, their Dodgems have laser guns, so it's like Duel mixed with Dodgems, and if you're on your own, you get to drive and you shoot it.
You're literally just driving with one hand.
I'm literally.
Is there another one?
That sounds fun, but all I'm going to say to you is I'm a godfather and an uncle, and I'm trying to get one of either my brother or friends to let me borrow a child for a day so I could go to Gulliver's Kingdom at Milton Keynes.
Oh, the Milton Keynes one.
Antelope, yeah, that woody coaster. It's a cred. But I need a child under the age of is it 13?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Or 12,
like
13,
that,
something like that.
Yeah. I really need to borrow one of my godsons or nephews. No shame.
Is there anything you wanted to promote, Stacey, before we...
Oh, they just remind me about the pizza from the previous vlog,
Jesus
but
Christ.
we will see that.
No,
later.
I tell you what, no one's commenting on the fact I eat digestives the wrong way, though, are they? So,
No.
What do you sandwich them?
what's that?
Your digestive, do you like make them into a little sandwich?
No, I eat them with the chocolate side down, which apparently is the total wrong thing to do.
And then we've discovered that there's some white chocolate ones as well.
Oh, yeah, there we go, Joe. But that's a story for another time.
I sandwich mine with the chocolate in the middle.
Well, how are you supposed to do this?
Chocolate up.
No.
Put that in the live tomorrow. Talk about food as well as.
No, I'm talking about CITV tomorrow. It's the last day. No more Art Attack. No more Finders Keepers. Funhouse. Miss.
Oh god, yeah, I used to watch all them.
Finders Keepers was the ultimate though. Like,
How to.
it's just.
We mentioned Nightmare. Rosie and Jim. Stuff like that. Reboot was great for its time. CGI.
Was that ITV that did bits, or was that BBC?
That's BBC, I think.
Wizardora.
Dora was, yeah.
Wizardora.
About me.
Do you know our catchphrase, Graham?
What for?
For the end of the show.
No.
So we'll see you
In the review.
because for now
We're gone.
bye.